Hey there, it's Mindy. I hope you all enjoyed your holiday season. I took a little break and now I am back. If this is your first time here, go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy home decor on a budget. Today's project is this interchangeable home sign that I made using my Cricut. For this project, I wanted to challenge myself to use things that I already had in my craft stash. So I pulled out a bunch of things, these paper packs, some spare scrapbook paper that I had left over from Christmas, some felt, of course the Mod Podge, but the main item I'll be using is this Cricut chipboard, which I'll use to cut the interchangeable pieces from. I'm going to start by preparing these wood letters, and these are 8-inch letters from Walmart. They're $1.97 a piece, and I'm going to spray paint them in black, but I recommend against that, and you'll see why at the end. They turn out a little bit spotty. While the paint is drying on the letters, I'm going to work on my interchangeable decor pieces, which I'm cutting from the 4 images you see up here on the right. And I went into Design Space, I chose the images, and I went ahead and altered them in order to cut each one on the chipboard. If you're interested in learning more about how to do that, let me know in the comments and I can work on another video just going through Cricut Design Space and how to alter the images to cut them out of different materials. After I had all my images cut out, here's what I had. I'm using Mittens for the winter. I'm going to use this sort of floral and greenery wreath form for spring. And then I have a set of flip-flops for summer and a pumpkin for fall. And yes, the pumpkin is in several pieces, but I'll show you how I attach it all towards the end. The first interchangeable decor piece I'll be working on is the pair of mittens, and for this one I'm going to use this black and white buffalo plaid scrapbook paper that I had on hand from Christmas. I got this at Hobby Lobby for $1. That's the best price to get it at. But for the mitten itself, I'm going to use the paper, and then for the cuff, I'm using this white felt that I had on hand. And all I'm going to do is trace and cut each mitten from the scrapbook paper. Use Mod Podge to adhere the scrapbook paper to my mittens, but you could use any craft glue here, even maybe a double-sided tape. But I'm using a very thin layer of the Mod Podge on the chipboard so that I won't have any bubbles when I attach the paper. And I'm going to smooth that down very well so that all parts of it will stick down. And to get rid of any excess, I'm just going to use a craft knife. And for the cuff on my mitten, you'll see I doubled the felt and traced and cut out a piece. And this makes it so it's opaque over that black and white paper, and that the folded edge makes a nice seam. And I'm just going to attach this on with hot glue and again cut off any excess. To give this a nice finished look, I'm going to use this jute twine and just glue it onto the entire border of each mitten. For my spring decor piece, I thought I would use scrapbook paper as well, but then I changed my mind and decided to go ahead and use some of these spring florals that I had in my stash and I've collected over the last few years. These are either from Dollar Tree, Walmart, Target, Dollar Spot. I've used them in different projects before or to decorate around my home, but for this wreath I'm simply going to take pieces of each floral and just glue them down with hot glue randomly, creating sort of a pattern but not really, and I'm just gonna lay them all in the same direction and glue them around the wreath. And I alternated each section of the wreath, doing one section of floral and one section of greenery pieces. I'm just loving how this cutout shape gives it some variation in the greenery, but you could easily get the same look using just a round wreath form. I created these summer flip-flops very simply by giving it just a base of black chalk paint, and this is the Waverly chalk paint and ink, and I just gave it one good coat, and then I'm going to give it a pop of color when I create the straps. I'm using these multicolor wood beads from Dollar Tree to create the flip-flop straps, and to give it some form I'm going to use a white pipe cleaner, and what I'm doing is folding it in half, and I'm just going to string the beads on in a rainbow color pattern. This set of flip-flops worked out so beautifully, and it turns out I had the perfect amount of beads to do these two straps. Here's one of the straps that I already did. So pretty and vibrant. To attach the straps, I'm simply going to bend back the pipe cleaner, the excess pieces, and I'm going to use hot glue to attach that to the back, and the top piece I'll also glue on with hot glue. And to finish it off, you'll see at the end that I did add a white flower to each, just to cover up that little white piece of the pipe cleaner where the toes would be. And for the fourth and final fall decor piece, I am going to be covering this pumpkin with scrapbook paper as well, and this is a like galvanized looking paper, also from Hobby Lobby. And for the stem, I'm just using this green paper that I also had on hand. For this one, I'll be using a little bit of a different technique. Instead of tracing and cutting out the scrapbook paper pieces, I'll be applying the Mod Podge directly to the chipboard pieces and then placing that right onto the back of the scrapbook paper. And then what I'll do is take my craft knife and go around each piece to cut the paper off, the excess paper. Just a side note, do be very careful when using craft knives. I did nick one of my fingers and it was bleeding enough that I had to get a band-aid. It wasn't a very bad cut, but just be aware that these knives are very sharp. And finally, to attach these pieces together, I used a large popsicle stick, which I had already painted silver just so that it would blend in, and I simply placed that in the middle and attached each piece using hot glue and leaving the space as it is in the image in design space. And the same thing for the stem. I had a smaller popsicle stick which I used to attach to the center piece of the pumpkin. And here is what each piece looks like all finished. I have the mittens for the winter. My spring floral and greenery wreath. My summer flip-flops. I think this one is my favorite. And the fall pumpkin. I did go ahead and add a piece of the jute twine to each of these in order to hang it from a nail that I put in the wall. And for my wooden letters, I used command strips on each one in order to hang those. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project and it inspired you to create some seasonal decor on a budget for your home. If you did enjoy it, go ahead and hit that like button and leave me a comment letting me know which one was your favorite. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.